Broadcasting live from sunny South Florida, and the best way to start your Saturday. This is KMA Talk Radio. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of fine cigars. And now your KMA crew. The man with the scoop, William Koper. Alex the Goat Tavella. And always telling it like it is, Honest Abe Dababneh.
I like to smoke them like the Winston Churchill. Like John Kennedy, yeah. Remember Coach Red Auerbach, smoked up for victory, yeah. Well, you can take my wife, you can take my car, but you can't take my big cigar. My cigar, yeah.
Good morning to all our loyal listeners, libertarians, and lovers of the leaf. Honest Abe here. We are broadcasting KMA episode number 597 live. As always, I'm here with my trusted KMA crew, the man we all know as the GOAT, Alex, the GOAT, Tavella, and our dear friend always bringing us industry news, teaser and rumor-free, William the Scoop Koper. And I'm very pleased and excited for our special guest host today. She has become a personality on social media from McAuliffe Cigars. Everyone, please give a warm welcome to Lauren Koper. Good morning, young lady.
Morning. Thank you for having me on.
Morning.
Good morning.
Coop, you look like you're from a prison cell.
Yes.
Nah, it's just the light. It'll get too much sunlight. No, I'm in my hotel room.
Ah, you're down here. You're actually in our neck of the woods.
I'm in Miami. Yeah, I've been. This has been a long trip. I've been gone for almost 10 days. So we had a wedding last week up north.
I've never seen anybody in my life like so anti-weddings.
I'm anti-wedding.
Why are you anti-wedding?
You are absolutely anti-weddings.
Oh,
Like,
it's just
I'm
torture.
with you, Coop.
It's just torture, and thank goodness my son-in-law was there. He was a great guy.
I guess he hated it as much as you did. That's
Yeah, I mean, look, I love my niece, and it was my niece's wedding, and we were very happy and all that. But honestly, I'm just not a wedding guy. So
I mean, I get it. Like,
I'm the anti-Paul. So yeah,
you people probably only want to go to less than 5% of
we rarely go now.
5% of the weddings that you end up getting invited to, but
I want to go to less than 5% of the
So
things. Period.
look, we'll go for family and people we consider very close friends. But you know, those ones where we know we're not going to see these people again, we're not going.
That's fair.
So we're just not going. So
what makes you not like a wedding? I'm just curious.
you know, it's like I have to socialize for the sake of socializing. I don't know many people there. I feel like I'm trapped.
I mean, that's what the bar's for, honestly. That's what I go for.
Yeah, but Coop's not a big drinker, and I don't drink.
I'm not a big drinker.
Yeah, I can't.
I usually do volunteer to be the driver, so I don't have a problem with that.
Lauren really hit it on the head. I mean, that's basically the savior.
Right. If you could drunk the night away, fine.
Lighthouse.
Yeah.
But then you got to realize, you know, by 10 o'clock, people like myself and Cooper are just surrounded by 100 drunks at that point.
Yeah, that's kind of what happens with that. You know, it was kind of
10 o'clock is the respectable departure time.
Yeah.
By that, I feel like, you know.
But you know, there's things. Yeah. I found an area where I can smoke cigars, and my wife's like, "You're being antisocial." I said, "The party will come to us. Trust me." And she went out. So sure enough, the party came to us. Like people saw the cigars, and they were coming, and it works. And I said, and what was nice is it was one of those weddings where the music was very loud, right? It was like pro cigar loud music. So we were away from the speakers. It was outdoors, and it was quieter, and you could actually talk. That's another thing I just don't like. Well, you can't talk at these weddings and have a conversation. So,
did you bring cigars for attendees?
Yes, I brought and for the bridal.
I assume when you say the party will come to us. I assume you.
So I bought a bunch of Davidoffs in the tubos, the Nicaraguas, which is typically what I'll do. So I had a lot of extra, and you know, people wanted one. I gave them one, and what was really cool is one guy wanted to pay me. I'm like, no, I'm not charging you for these. Just enjoy it. Right, you know. Right. So, and we were in an area too where we weren't being disruptive with smoke either. I think that was one thing that was laid out very well at this wedding. So you really couldn't disrupt, but that's what happened. Yeah. And the weather was really, it got cool later that night because I was up north. I was way up north in Florida. And it got cool at night, but lucky it got really cool after that is what I'll say.
So it was where? It was up in Orlando.
That better?
It was.
If you pull the blinds a little bit more over.
Yeah, it looks like a prison. That's like.
Well, yeah, I know, but you're looking very holy.
Yeah,
like,
I get it. Yeah, I get it. But I'm the anti-Paul weddings is the best thing to put it. So if everyone knows Paul DeGracco is how many shows did he miss because of weddings? If you think about it, I mean, it was a high percent.
I mean,
weddings,
God,
Disney.
He has too many friends or associates.
Yeah,
I have a lot of associates, but I also have associates that I'm not
acquaintances. He has acquaintances, I think.
He has too many acquaintances that he's too acquainted with that they invite. I got a lot of acquaintances. They don't invite me to their wedding. You know,
Right.
I don't want to be that far in the acquaintance realm where it's like, I do it. Yeah, I invite Paul and his wife, and yeah, next thing you know, the guy's going to 6 weddings a year. Most people 6 weddings.
There was a lot. I mean, like I said, there was a lot of weddings he went to, and then, like I said, you compound the Disney trips on top of that, and the baby showers that he was somehow going to, and the bridal.
It does sound expensive.
Yeah. He just I don't, and I think I said to him once, Paul, just say no. It's like,
Well, hold on. You're making the assumption that Paul makes a decision.
Right,
but it's true.
Right.
Yeah, and we know he doesn't. We know he doesn't.
I don't think it's quite up to Paul, but thank God, because now we get to have a nice variety of very special guests like Lauren Koper on the show. Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah.
Before we get any further in the show, let's tell everybody what we're smoking because everybody seems to be posting it up already. Alex, are you lit up today or no?
Yeah, I am. I'm finishing off my Wawa coffee as usual, and then I'm going to go into my Wawa coffee dark, really, which it's kind of become, which is my McAuliffe Black box press, which is I mean, if my 2 everyday carries are Bella's Artist by AJ Fernandez and McAuliffe Black box press. Keep a stash.
You're not lit.
I'm not lit, but I just smoked. Juan gave me the Protocol Crime Scene unit, so I just smoked that. That was a really good cigar, by the way.
Very well done.
Yep. So I just had that this morning. I was with Fred Ruiz at this hotel as well, and we were smoking together this morning.
I don't know if we have any of those left, man, because the first round sold out in a day,
Quick,
and then the second round came in. But if there's any left, and you guys haven't had a chance to try some.
It's a really good broadleaf. Yeah, it was really good. And so yeah, Juan, I got one from Juan yesterday.
Lauren,
I'm smoking the McAuliffe Purple right now.
Nice.
I love smoking this in the morning. And I'm actually going to follow it with our Connecticut from our Legacy series after that.
She got it back up already.
Yeah, she does.
Yeah.
So I've come prepared.
So Saturday mornings have become raiding my wife's humidor because she's the only one that really has cigars at the house. All mine are at the shop. And I saw this one. This had to be from the trade show. But I think these just came in because I just saw them come in or whatever. But trying this one from United Cigars.
Good cigar. Oh, in fact, we were talking about that cigar this morning. Hendrick Kellner Jr. made that cigar and blended it. So Hankey's son blended that cigar. Not Klaus, but Hendrick did that.
Well, it's starting off pretty good.
It was a nice blend. They actually have a size of that cigar called the Cooper.
No.
Corona size. Yeah, there's a size called the Cooper.
That.
Yep. I did say they didn't authorize the trademark, but I won't go after them. Yeah.
You know, I gotta tell you, I took the family down to the Keys last weekend, and if you ever wanted to go to the Keys and not feel like you're staying in the Keys, because let's be real, in reality, once you hit the Keys, every place is the same. But if you want to hit the Keys and feel like you're not staying in the Keys, Hawks Cay Resort is fantastic. It's a real resort in the middle of the Keys. It's not like a Keys resort. You see a lot of, I mean, it is a full-blown resort. We had a great time. Really, I mean, we didn't have to leave the resort at all.
I've never been there. I've never been to the Keys, actually. It's the one part of Florida I haven't been there.
You haven't been to the Keys?
Never been to the Keys.
Listen, Keys is a lot of the same. It's a lot of the same. You better, be ready to eat some fish and eat some fried shit. And it's But this place was, I mean, it was a full-blown resort, man. We really had a good time.
Nice.
We got to swim with the dolphins, pool, all that
that's so
shit. You know,
cool.
it was, we had a good time. I needed that. It was right on time.
Now,
But good
Lauren,
place if you're in the Keys.
Now, Lauren, I know you're not like our interview guest today, but I do want to ask you a couple questions because you kind of are new to the KMA and smoking community, but you've kind of, really have developed quite the what's the word I'm looking for? I'm going to probably say sense of humor, or
Always had it.
yeah. I mean, and I enjoy following you and your posts and your ability to, tongue in cheek with other members of our industry. You just had an event, I believe, last night.
Yes. At Underground. I'm actually back here again too, because it's close to my apartment, and so I just, clocking in, and it's a convenient place to smoke. So back here at Underground Cigar in Fort Worth.
And you have some props from the event, I understand.
I do. So we had some good times there. Well, if anyone knows of my personal lore, Steve Saga owes me a pose we've been having. Actually, it's been a one-sided pose off since April, and he still hasn't provided his participation. So I decided to use his image licensing. And he basically was part of the pose off, and he wasn't. So I did some obnoxious poses, and actually a lot of people got to pose with Steve Saga. And then we had a shopping cart as well here. So we practiced putting the shopping cart back using Terrence Riley. So Terrence Riley and Steve Saga were at my event.
I like how Steve Saka's head was so big that they had to, they had to cut the top off. Couldn't get it.
I know, but it looks like he has hair almost now. So in some of the pictures, so yeah.
Well, they really didn't make my head big enough.
Right. Well, how long have you been with McCallum?
I've been with McCallum for 4 years.
And what did you do before that? I'm curious.
I was in, my previous profession, I was in industrial sales. So I was selling garage door operators and gate operators for a manufacturer when I was living in California. And then when I came to Texas, I was at a kind of like a starting over period in my life. So I quit my job as soon as I got my bonus. And I've always been a cigar smoker. So I decided there was a Cigars International opening up in Fort Worth. So I applied and I worked the humidor for about a year. And then Al McCallum found me and offered me a job. So been with him ever since.
Smart man, that Al.
Yeah.
That seems like a thing for Al. Like if Al's hanging out and he sees something listen, that's how McCallum Cigars came about, right? Couple Cuban guys came and said, hey, try my cigars. Next thing you know, it's a full-blown company because Al happened to be sitting in the lounge, right? Isn't that the story? That seems like a very Al thing. I like her. She looks like she's works well. I want her to work with me.
Yeah, it was funny for a long time. I was like, no, Al, not because I always thought he was just joking when he was offering me a job. I was like, whatever, Al. I never even tried his cigars either, so I don't even know if they were good. So I was just like, I don't know. And then he gave me a La Crema, and I smoked it, experienced La Crema, and it was fantastic. And I was like, I guess there's something here. So when he formally gave me a job offer, I took it immediately.
That's great. I mean, I kind of do the same thing if I'm out somewhere and I see an amazing server somewhere, somebody on point. I've offered a few people jobs like that, just saying, hey, look, or at least say, here's my card. If you're ever looking to get out of what you're doing now, give us a call. Because I think when you've employed or you have a large enough team or you've dealt with a lot of employees over the years, you can just see when somebody's working on their other job, because it's usually the best insight because they're not expecting to be criticized or looked at. And you're watching how they're performing blindly. And, it's not an impractical way to hire people.
No, it's worked out,
Let me tell my on the scene, try to hire somebody experience. Abe, you'll probably remember this. Me and my son, we went to a hibachi place around the corner here. And we didn't get the hibachi. We just wanted to grab sushi real quick. It was right there. We sat by the bar, in the seats by the bar. And in the seats by the bar, the bartender handles the bar and at least the section of 12 seats where it takes orders, does all the bar for the whole place. You really got to be on it. So the girl working the bar is fantastic. I mean, she's doing exactly what we like at Smoke Inn. Work the bar and get out from behind the bar and take care of the people on the floor when you don't have bar stuff going on. So I'm hey, man, are you looking for more work? Well, we have a cigar bar, blah, blah, blah. She's like, oh, yeah, great. Number. I think Marissa calls her, schedules an interview, sounds great, blah, blah, blah. She never shows up to the interview. We're like, oh,
right.
A couple days later, happens a lot. A couple days later, like a week later, the Jeffrey Epstein documentary comes out.
Oh.
The fucking girl was a recruiter for Jeffrey Epstein.
No. Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Terrible instincts.
I don't know. She was doing a good job.
I don't know if she can recruit girls for fucking Jeffrey Epstein, she can get a guy to buy another drink. I'm glad to believe.
Holy crap. I mean, that's a really dark way of looking at it, but yeah, she was excelling in all paths of business.
But it was
Can you put
really
human trafficking on a resume?
Shit.
Oh my goodness.
You know, sales.
Depends where you're applying, I guess.
Right. Wayfair, maybe, probably.
Jeez.
Yeah, literally, it was my holy shit. I'm watching a fucking documentary with the girl.
Hello. So, Lauren, if one would assume, honestly, because look, social media is kind of a thing. Some people are really good at it naturally. Some people just kind of use it. Watching how you post and interact on social media, you would assume that you had a diverse and long time background. You know how to connect stories, how to keep it entertaining. Were you doing this before the cigar industry, or is this a talent you've dawned upon?
I guess. I mean, well, it's interesting with social media. Like, I've made all the mistakes on social media. I used to have a Facebook before, and I've done all the mistakes. I've used it as an open diary. I mean, I would post some really funny shit, but it was like too much. So, I've made all the mistakes. So I kind of know how to lean in and how to lean out, and what to post, what not to post, how to engage an audience. I guess it's all basically raw instinct, but it's a lot of practice. I mean, Facebook came around when I was in college, so I've been on the boat ever since then. And then I started getting more into Instagram, I want to say about like 5 years ago. So I don't know. I guess it's just being a millennial. Like, you're just so ingrained into social media, you kind of know how to do the ins and outs of it.
It's funny. She mentioned Instagram. So I made a post on my story that, Lauren was going to be on. I wanted to tag her, and I couldn't find a Lauren Koper. So I finally had to ask her. I said, "Are you on IG?" And she goes, "Yeah, I'm _Maduro." I'm like, well, that's interesting. Why'd you pick that name? Well, she has another story. I didn't tell her the story. And actually, I was kind of thinking today about it. I think maybe a lot of our new listeners don't even know.
Probably not.
No. Well, I used to smoke. You asked me. I'm like, I used to smoke Camacho's Triple Maduro all the time. So I just,
Does she still not know the story?
No, I don't know the story.
Oh, cool. Oh, nice.
No, yeah, this is the moment. So it's funny because I told her, I said, basically that cigar from Camacho and like the whole concept of Triple Maduro exists because of me. I trademarked it. I thought of it. And basically what happened, it's a crazy story how shit happens. I'm going, this has got to be 25 years plus maybe. We had a guy at the end of the bar, I'll never forget, he bought a Diamond Crown Maduro. And it was a Saturday. We're probably 10, 12 of us congregated by our bar. We had a bar back then, but we couldn't serve liquor. We didn't have a liquor license. We just had like a bar that people had coffees and sat down and hung out at mostly. Mostly I worked from it. And he cut it. And, Diamond Crown Maduro is a dark Maduro cigar. I mean, it's always has been. So he cuts it and then he looks inside and he goes, "What the fuck? It's not Maduro on the inside." And of course, we just all start laughing. And I try to explain to him that, it's just the wrapper leaf. They make Maduro. And then a light bulb hit. Why isn't there an all Maduro cigar? Now, it really isn't easy to make an all Maduro cigar because Maduros are very damp leaf, when you're making it. And, it tends to have a lot of burn issues. But the first thing I did was trademark every variation of Maduro, Triple Maduro, Maduro, Puro Maduro. And that was the first thing I did. And then I wanted to
everything except Maduro 3X, huh?
Yeah, I couldn't. I know I did, but then I had to rescind. Couldn't use anything.
Couldn't use that X.
It was Maduro ×3. Yeah, the X. I got a call from a dear friend saying, "We don't want you to use that trademark." I said, "No problem, sir. Absolutely." But we had it, and Sal Fontana, God rest his soul, was my mentor at the time, and he loved the idea. He really wanted me to take the Aroa family back then, and I had a project early in my career that I was doing with Camacho, which I think even back then was still Carib imported cigars. Christian was young, and I was young, and we kind of parted ways not so well. So I kind of refused to take it to Camacho. So the first company I took it to was Oliva. And at that time, Jose Oliva still hadn't had his political career yet and was very much running the day-to-day operations of the company. I met with Jose, and at that time, God rest his soul, Bert Gottfried, and who was like their rep forever in Florida. And they loved the idea, and he wanted to take it to his brother. And, you know, like a lot of cigar companies, you know, you throw something at them, and sometimes they got time to deal with it. Sometimes they don't. They just kind of backburned it forever and ever. And finally said, look, we just don't think we can attack this project at the time. Maybe he talked to his brother and he says, yeah, that's not possible. That cigar won't burn. It'll never work. Who knows? Second person I went to talk to, any guesses? I don't think Alex even knows this full story. Second person I went to talk to.
I don't remember.
Rocky.
Oh, snap.
Once again, Rocky loved the idea. They want to do it. Delay. You know, they get busy. It's not on their to-do list. Never sends any samples, never does any blends. So I got this trademark part, still trying to figure out who will make this cigar. And I get a call from the vice president of CAO at the time, Mickey Pegg.
Oh.
Mickey Pegg calls me and hey, how's it going? Hey, how's it going? We're going back and forth. So look, so when you apply for a trademark, there's a thing, I think it's called a blue sheet or something, but it goes out to the industry. It lets everybody who's in your category know that these are trademarks that are being applied for in case someone sees something and goes, oh, hey, that's too similar to us. So I guess Mickey saw the application for, Triple Maduro, calls me up and he says, yeah, I saw you applied for this mark. Have you been selling it and whatever? And of course I lied outright. I said, yeah, we have it in the shop. And he's like, because at that time they had this thing called the Esperante room. I don't know if you even know what this was, Coop, but this was like a big hexagon room in their Nashville headquarters where they had all these test blends. Kind of never made it to market, never sold it. And at that time, CAO had MX2, which was their double Maduro. The binder and the wrapper was Maduro. Well, we have this thing in our Esperante room that's, triple Maduro, whatever. So I think at this career, I'm only have 2 retail storefronts. I'm still a relatively small guy in the industry. And I was buying a lot from CAO, So I have no idea how to take this conversation. I have no idea, I don't want to get in a trademark fight with CAO. I'm not going to win, and then I don't want to alienate a company that I'm selling a lot of their goods. At that time, CAO was hot as hell, So somebody once taught me it was very good when you don't know what to say, get the fuck off the phone. You have this conversation. So I literally said, hey, Mick, you called in the middle of the day. I got a couple customers here. Can I call you back later? We can talk about it. I said, yeah, on the phone. First call I called Sal Fontana. I said, Sal, listen, I just got a call from Mickey Pegg. I don't know what to do. He's like, well, maybe they want to license it from you. He said, maybe they don't. Maybe they just want to fuck me over. So he urged me again to take it to their royal family. So at this point, I'm thinking, well, if the Aroma family takes this project over, then they'd have to fight the Aroma family for the trademark, not me, and that's not going to be so easy or whatever. So Sal convinced me to go down to Honduras. I go down to Honduras. I sit with Julio. Julio loves the idea immediately. I was there for 5 days. He loves the idea immediately. Christian wasn't a fan of it, but Julio fell in love with it. He said, that reminds him of some very old stuff Tiamo used to do. And, if anybody can remember the days pre-boom or during the boom, Tiamo was like an on-fire cigar. It was selling everywhere. And it was hands down probably one of the ugliest okay cigar you'd ever seen. But it was on fire. But, they had a lot of Maduro. They used a lot of Maduro leaf. So before I leave, this is I'm there for a 5-day trip. And when you go down to Honduras, you're not always sitting with Julio, he's wheelchair bound or whatever. So he comes and goes and you see him throughout, your stay. He races back to catch me before I leave to the airport. He brings me 10 triple Maduro cigars. He's like, do not smoke these for 3 weeks. In 5 days, the guy already made some. I've been talking to guys for months, can't get a call back.
Right.
So he makes some. So it was good. It's still a little wet, whatever. So we struck a deal with Camacho. We assigned the mark to them. I was getting a royalty for every triple Maduro cigar they sold in the world for years. And the stories came out in Aficionado, how Christian and Sal thought it up. I could care less. I was getting my royalty check every month. I was happy.
Right.
I was happy.
Absolutely.
I contributed to your royalties. I feel actually somewhat responsible.
Yes.
So you're welcome.
Yeah, I told Lauren we're connected. It's funny.
Wow, that's awesome.
I mean, this industry's so small anyway. I feel like everyone's connected in a little bit. There's no secrets in this industry, as I always say.
So yeah, that I'm not gonna lie, because when you're building, because at this time I had 2 stores, but now I'm building 3, 4, 5, 6. You get cash flow poor very quick. And I ain't gonna lie, man, that royalty check, Sal would drive it up to me every month, sometimes save the month. I mean, it was a key component in our growth early on. And because they were selling a lot of it. It became very, very hot. It was the first triple Maduro out there. And, they really, put that post, hey, we're the first company to ever do a triple Maduro. And that licensing stayed through probably for about a year or 2 after Davidoff bought Camacho cigars, and then Davidoff paid me off so that it would go away, which I was okay with. I was having, in fact, how it actually came about was, everything spikes up and then it comes down and levels out. So, I noticed that the triple Maduro had leveled out, and we're just strolling around getting our check every month. And I remember being in Pompano, one of my newer locations that triple Maduro helped build. And I'm sitting with, at that time, the sales rep, and he's telling me how triple Maduro is blowing up overseas. Like, just exploding. They can't keep up with it. It's going there. My royalty check hasn't gone up at all. Very interesting. And when they would send the check, I'd always get a printed out report, so I would know how many boxes of each size sold for the month or whatever. So but that was cigars that were coming out of the Miami warehouse. So I asked her.
Interesting.
I asked the rep. I said, hey, let me ask you something. When you guys ship cigars overseas, you don't ship it to Miami, do you? Oh, no, that goes straight from Honduras. So I sent them a letter saying, hey, look, I mean, these reports I've been getting for the last year don't attribute anything for overseas sales or whatever. And, we'd like to, and that's when they quickly just said, you know what, we need to buy him out and stop. And I was all right with it. It ran its course. It did its thing. And, Davidoff gave me a fair deal to get out. And that is the triple Maduro story. For years, we never talked about it, never said shit, never, but then, it's old news now. Nobody cares.
That's cool, though. You're kind of responsible for shaping the next generation of cigar smokers.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Yeah. I didn't know all the details of that story either. I knew there was.
I don't think I ever said it fully. This is probably the
yeah.
I've ever
This is a cool story.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I knew you went. I didn't know you went to Rocky. I knew you went to Oliva.
Yeah, Rocky was my number 2 pick. Try to do it because you need somebody who was up and coming, and both those companies were up and coming. So I thought it'd be great to have in their portfolio, right? Say, hey, man, we're the only triple Maduro out here.
Yeah.
And not that either one of them are losing sleep over it, but it ended up being a big revenue generator for Camacho Cigars.
When did Davidoff buy Camacho?
Sal was still alive, so let's see.
2008.
The digital experience was 10 years on the anniversary of his death, and that was 2021. So that puts you at 2011. What'd you say, 2008?
I thought it was 2008.
That's very close to it, 2008, 2009, because Sal was still alive when they acquired them, and he passed away in 2011. So it's got to be close.
Damn. Well, that was way before I became a cigar smoker, so maybe not.
Well, that's funny, Gary. We actually didn't have a non-disclosure agreement. It just shook on. I mean, I could care less. I was happy if someone took on the project.
Send it a check.
You'd be crazy surprised, honestly, crazy surprised how many things in the cigar industry just happen on a handshake and a word, and how these guys actually don't even stop to even draw a document up or do anything.
It's true.
I've seen it throughout my career, and that was just one of those things. Now, the royalty deal wasn't a word because I already had experiences with Christian early on in earlier projects. That shit was written out really well. But No, I just never needed to talk about it. I let them take the credit for years.
Yeah, but let me ask you a question. Do you still see it?
See what?
Things like that. Things getting done on a handshake.
Some things.
A little
Some
bit.
things.
I feel like it's not like
Well,
it was. I feel like times have changed. You almost can't.
I believe Espinoza and Guy Fieri have a handshake agreement.
Well, Eric is a different kind of guy. Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Eric's the kind of guy
it happens. It's probably not as prolific as it used to be, because too many guys have robbed people over the years and done the wrong thing. But it's still
I mean, essentially, you have to cover your ass at the end of the day, so you have to form some kind of legal documentation. I mean, it makes sense.
Well, I mean, just also, I think that, like, look, that during that time, right, when you start talking the, 90s to this moment, Abe's coming in. This is essentially when everybody's coming in. Like, who's you go back to 96, who's on the scene that's on the scene now? Monte Cristo.
Well, if you take out the bigs, I mean,
that's what I'm saying. So like all you guys, like the entire industry is kind of coming up at the same time.
Yeah.
So that's how I could see how, sure, we're doing shit. Everybody's trying to figure it out. Doing shit on handshakes. Everybody kind of made it.
Was essentially like the Wild West back then.
Right. It's a little more corporate now. Guys a little more established. That's what I'm saying.
Early career,
the fact that everybody's coming up.
I mean, Placencia has a board of directors now. So,
who does?
Kind of project that you
Placencia.
can't almost like, listen, you can't, it's hard to fuck each other, right? I'm barely making it. I make these cigars. You don't sell them. I'm fucked. You make these cigars. I can't sell them. I'm fucked. So it's got to work for both of us.
I mean, Placencia, talk about a company who for decades couldn't make a cigar brand that anybody
They
would buy.
couldn't. They tried several times. Many times, not just several, many times.
If you could go back and say, what was the problem? What?
Oh,
Let's be real. There's still not a face to Placencia. There's no. I mean, they did it without.
No, but they hired a major marketing firm. Release when the new Placencias first came out. They did a branding company. They did a lot. They didn't just say we're Placencia, we're going to make a cigar, which is what a lot of guys do, right? We used to make cigars for them, and them, so everybody knows who we are. No, consumers don't. Sorry. And then they make a cigar and they think it's just going to go because of the factory name, and it doesn't translate well to the very end consumer. Seldom does. Placencia had a big firm they hired this last time around, and it got them out of the gate strong, and then after that, a lot of it was just momentum. But you're right. Yeah. They really don't have a face. I don't, which is shockingly, it's honestly shockingly. I don't even, and I don't see it. And Lauren, you're probably out of the four of us the most attuned to it, but I don't even see a social media presence.
No, it's crazy though. The first time I tried Placencia, I was in Chicago, and this is when I was living in California at the time. And it took a long time for Placencia to really kind of gain momentum as a brand. And where it's at now, it's pretty impressive. I mean, they're kind of like a high-end cigar, which again, especially as newer brands, being at a higher price point is usually a deterrent for a lot of shops to bring in, especially if they don't have that much skin in the game. So, I mean, I'm pretty impressed by their momentum and success. I think they're great cigars, honestly. I do like Placencia a lot. So, yeah, but they don't have a headliner. They don't have a personality to the brand, which I noticed in the culture that is cigar culture, that is kind of crucial for a lot of brands to actually survive, is to have a face.
I'm talking out of my ass here. I don't know facts. Cooper may know more than me, but I got to believe over the decades, more Placencia sticks have sold to consumers than any other factory.
Mm-hmm. There are brands,
Rocky cigars or whoever they were making cigars for at the time. None of them, most of them aren't theirs, but
Placencia is like one of those brands, and maybe now it's crossed over that, but it's one of those brands, it takes double the work because you also have to educate. It's like, who the hell are these guys with a $20 cigar? Oh, well, these guys actually, you probably smoked 30 of their cigars. Right. You just don't know it.
Well, do you think the fact that they were in the manufacturing game, they were able to gain the trust and the confidence of retailers, and so that's why they were able to become successful?
It's not always enough, Lauren.
Yeah,
that works one time,
mm-hmm.
right? So I bought in a lot of cigars based on that because of my relationship or whatever, but that can only work one time. If it doesn't transcend to the consumers, that shit's just sit on the shelf.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, so they like Abe said, they brought in a big marketing company. They did a big splash when they launched at PCA. It was probably the best company launch I've ever seen at a PCA. Then what they've done in the last few years is they started bringing in some people from Davidoff. I mean, they brought Jim Young in, who did an amazing job with Davidoff in the U.S.
They basically brought the Davidoff team over.
They brought the Davidoff team up, and basically Jim handpicked his successor now to run that business, Ed Bello, who he worked with in his previous job when he was on the liquor side. So now he is running Placencia, and Jim's kind of, I think, retiring at this point. So I think they just, like I said, it was much better organized. They just didn't try to launch a brand. They launched a company. They have a vision. Lauren, you hit it on the head. That company is going after the luxury market. Mm-hmm. I've been told that they're going after the luxury market.
And honestly, I feel like they're one of the most, I guess, even, do we still count them as a newer brand? I mean, I'll still count them as a newer brand.
As far as a brand goes, they're newer, yes.
I agree. As a brand goes, they do lean on the newer.
Yeah,
you know, it's interesting because there's two companies that almost did the same thing at the same time, right? You have Placencia, which did it this way, and essentially Aganorsa did the exact same thing. They did it with a figurehead with Terrence Riley. Another, you know, how many? Most people still don't realize how many Aganorsa cigars they smoked.
They were fumbling around for a while too until Terrence got there. Yes,
right. So they just took an opposite approach and got the figurehead placed. And
now Racist Cubanas is doing it. So yeah, Racist is the next thing that they've been doing it in the last year. And that's gonna take a while, I think.
I think they got a tough road ahead of them.
They got a tough road. They have good cigars. I'm not saying they don't, but they have a lot of work to do.
Cigars, but I think once again they're relying on the fact that this is our factory. Everybody knows our factory. No, they don't.
No.
You know, I think they're taking that same era approach that Placencia did for many years. I don't see them really working the consumer end of it.
I don't either. Yeah.
You're gonna have a long road. Mm-hmm. But in regards to Aganorsa, Casa Fernandez stuff was barely selling anywhere. But they didn't only just get Terrence Riley. They rebranded the whole company.
Yeah,
true. Right. Well, they did everything necessary to get
sort of
Placencia, right? I mean, I guess
Casa Fernandez is just another Ez name company, right? I mean, that's what it is. And now you got this big arm and Aganorsa, and they ran with it, and it's worked for them very well.
Yeah. It really has. I mean, and Terrence, we've seen Terrence did it at Quesada too, remember? Mm-hmm. So, I mean, Quesada, till he got there, Abe, you could probably comment a lot more on this even I can. They were kind of languishing, and then Terrence got there, and he kind of made them, people take notice with that.
I'll tell you what, there's a reason why I've called Terrence the Great White Gringo for a long time.
Not because of his height.
No. He came to me. He wanted to set up a meeting. He had just gotten hired from, well, it wasn't even Quesada Cigars. It was SAG.
SAG Imports, right? Yeah.
So he just got hired by SAG. Manuel Quesada was his uncle. And he wanted to set up a meeting with Pompano. Now, we had done some business with SAG because obviously they had brands that were kind of known. Coming up early in my career, Fonseca used to be a good seller. They killed it. There was they used to distribute Joya de Nicaragua before Drew Estate. That's who was doing Joya de Nicaragua. So they had the Joya de Nicaragua brands, but it just died. I think they had a brand called Cupido. It was a Cupid brand, right?
Yep.
All those popular brands just got eaten up by everybody else in the market over the years, and they just flatlined. And I remember Terrence came to see me, and he really wanted to get back in our shops. He was trying to offer me an off-invoice discount for us to bring us back in. Whatever. I said, look, Terrence, I mean, you seem like a great guy. I appreciate it. You can give me the cigars for free. If they sit on my shelf and I can't sell them, it's of no value, And he really sat there and drilled me to just give him a chance. And at that time, they had just released the white boxes that said the Quesada cigars on it with the big Q. Do you remember those?
Yep.
I think it was the first cigar that came out as Quesada cigars instead of one of their brands. Was the new brand. So he literally did the same thing with Quesada. Came in there, rebranded the company, changed it from SAG to Quesada Cigars, made that big Q that looked like a tobacco leaf and the Quesada on it. And
wasn't that whole Casa Magda line like him to the Tiberius, the Caligula?
That was very much him. That was very much him.
Put him on the map. It got raided. I mean, he turned that company around, and we went from doing zero business with them as a company to a shitload. And that's why I call him the Great White Gringo. You seldom can see one guy come in, and really kind of now he's done it twice. So you can say what you want about Terrence Riley, but he's come into the organization twice, basically, with stagnant water, not moving anywhere, and he's really turned them around. So kudos to him. But that's why I call him the Great White Gringo.
He's very excellent at customer engagement too, which, as you said, is very important, very crucial for the success as a brand to build such momentum.
Yeah, he's kind of the triple threat.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's very hard to find, like, even in retail. Like I could have a guy who knows everything about all the cigars, works like a dog, can't talk to a consumer at all. Right. Right. I mean, just
like an engineer.
Can't even say hello. Right. Awkward. Then you got the guys that will never shut the fuck up.
I've met those ones.
I hear him in my office 24 hours a day, but yet won't fucking relabel a box of cigars for the life of them, right? So it's very hard to find somebody who encompasses all aspects, and Terrence kind of really is kind of a triple threat. The guy understands marketing, understands sales, understands how to make brands, and then is fucking great with the consumer base. So
really,
I think that's just a testament to this industry. Like, you have to be a jack of all trades, honestly. I mean, even at McAuliffe, like, I've done multiple things here. I mean, I've done a little bit of this, a little bit of that. I kind of making up my role as I go along, like where I'm needed. So now I'm doing, like, I started in inside sales, customer service. I've packed orders, and now social media, marketing, and now outside sales. So you kind of have to go where you're needed.
It's very funny how some things never die down, but I will tell you this, Gary, the story isn't over yet. To be continued at the Great Smoke 2026. There's a little teaser. I know how you love teasers, Scoop.
Let's just say what it is. I mean, people get more people engaged. You'll get more people engaged. Like, they look forward to this. That's not.
Everyone likes a tease, though.
Yes.
No, you'll get more.
You just can't be giving it away for free. Okay.
Yes, you got to build the.
I'm telling you.
I tell buy you dinner first.
I tell people you'll get more traction if you announce like I got a surprise guest. Surprise guest is ridiculous. Tell people the surprise guest is. They'll tune in. That's what I've seen.
I think you're the minority in that group. You're the guy who emails us and says, "What cigars come in the advent calendar? Can you please list them for me?" You're that guy. I can't tell you how many.
No, I don't know about that.
I can't tell you how many of those emails we get every year. What are the exact cigars that come in the advent
That's
calendar?
a little different because the advent calendar. That's part of the allure of the advent calendar. I get, right? Because I think you don't. That's something you're ruining it. You're ruining the whole concept.
Doesn't sound like he's a man that likes surprises at all.
No.
Oh, I don't like surprises. But in this case, the advent calendar, you want.
He doesn't like weddings, and he doesn't.
Well,
like surprises.
I'll say this: 4 kids, we never found out the sex of our kids.
Oh,
we wanted to be surprised. So that I did. Yeah.
Kudos to you.
Yeah.
We decided not to find out on the last one, but we still ended up finding out anyway. When Asher was on his way, my wife and I said, this one we're just not going to find out. The story is, I'll speed it up because you'll hear it.
Yeah.
You know, when you're having your first child, and maybe Alex is more recent, can confirm whatever, but for whatever reason, maybe it's just me, maybe it's most men, I just, for whatever reason, thought it's going to be a boy. Like, I didn't even think like a girl was going to come. Like, it wasn't like a rational, like I made a decision about, but in my head, when I started thinking about what I'm going to do, I'm doing this with my son. It's like, I had spent 5,000 mental hours with my child that wasn't even born yet, just assuming he was a boy. So when we went for the sonogram and whatever, and the doctor goes, "It's a girl," I swear to God, I went, not too loudly, but and I really had, it was a struggle. I ain't gonna lie. I really had to hide I think my wife knew it. I had to hide my disappointment. I was crushed. And then Petra's born, and this kid is amazing. I'm in love with this child. She is adorable. We have a special bond from birth. So when my wife gets pregnant again, I say, you know what? If I get one half as good as this one, I don't care what it is. That was really my psychological intent going in, man. Because I mean, this is amazing. How can you have a problem with it, right? So I'll never forget Wayne Suarez. Well, that was on the third one. So Zane comes born, and we're in the same thing. And the doctor didn't even have to tell me, man. When they were doing the sonogram, the baby just turned the right way, and I saw it was a girl, and I was crushed. Like I lied to myself, like not knowingly. Like I thought, I'll be fine with it. emotionally crushed again. I can't believe this happened twice in a row. So now here comes baby number 3. And I'll never forget Wayne Suarez from Fuente at the time says to me, Abe, it's going to be a girl. I'm like, Wayne, why would you say that? Because you're destined. You're going to be surrounded by beautiful women your whole life. That's what he told me.
It's not necessarily a bad thing.
No, he loved my wife, Brandy. They enjoyed each other's company. He just said, you're destined. You're going to be surrounded by beautiful women. And at this point, I said, yeah, it's probably going to be a girl. Zara was born. I literally actually expected it. We were good. We were done. No more kids. That was it. And we decided to have one more try about a year later. And we said we weren't going to find out. And my wife's sister-in-law had just moved. My wife's sister, my sister-in-law, just moved to Florida. So she wanted to throw a reveal party. These things were just starting, right? Nobody was doing like now. Everybody, this is
fireworks and
the whole trend was just starting.
Lighting fields on fire.
So we went from so now we're going to wait till the baby's born to now we're going to do a reveal party, and I'm like, okay. I mean, if that's what you guys want to do, I get it. She came to town. She hasn't been involved in the other 3 kids. She wants to throw a reveal party. I mean, like I wasn't thrilled about it, but I'm like, all right, whatever. My response wasn't good enough for my wife. Like. She's like, well, you don't sound like you. I said, well, I mean, no, I was just already had my mindset. Wait, and now we're doing this, but that's fine. And it became World War III, like World War III, everything, nothing I did. Asher was a tough pregnancy for my wife. And we just got in a huge fight about it. So the sister has this envelope that has the identity of the child in it. And my wife actually lived in the bedroom upstairs for like the last 3 months of this pregnancy. I mean, it was World War III constantly. I couldn't do nothing. I breathed too heavy, right? I mean, everything was wrong. And we got in a big fight, and she gets pissed, and she says, I'm going to my sister's house, and I'm going to find out what it is. I'm like, do whatever you want. So I'll never forget. I don't know if you were there. I was driving down to Del Rey.
I do remember.
Yeah, I was driving.
I remember because there's a funny story attached to that too. I was there. Go ahead.
I was driving down to Del Rey. My wife ain't talking to me. She's at her she's pissed. I'm going. They were having poker night. I said, you know what? I'm gonna go play a little poker, get my head clear, just sit with the boys, have a cigar. Now, when my wife is mad, she'll not talk to me for days. I'm about a mile away from the store, and my phone rings, and it's my wife. And as soon as I saw my wife on there, I said, it's a fucking boy. Because if that was a girl, they would have they would have sealed that shit, put it away, act like they never saw it. She had to be calling telling me it was a boy. And sure enough, I answered the phone, and it was a boy. So I ended up being happy as a pig and shit. Alex is there. I'm buying cigars for everybody. We're playing poker.
I remember because it was the funny part of the story. Well, we were playing poker, and I think you grabbed like a box of Padron 40, something nice. It was definitely a box. And I remember you handed them all to us. We were playing poker, and you handed it to Bowtie Jose, who was the Ashton rep at the time, and he was so hesitant to take the Padron. And it was literally, it was like, what the fuck? The guy's having a fucking boy. Take the cigar, Jose.
Right.
It's okay. We won't.
Are
tell
they not
Ashton
allowed to smoke other brands? Is that it?
Listen, I get it. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm like, bro, don't worry. Nobody will tell we're celebrating tonight.
I'm
But
glad my
I remember
bosses are not that uptight.
But that's what happened with our last one. Yeah, that whole trending thing about reveal parties.
Yeah, thank God.
I actually think they're cool. I actually think they're really cool. It makes people happy,
I was the opposite. I was sure God was gonna fuck me. I was positive. I was sure. I was actually opposite of you. I was actually preparing for. Okay, you got to make sure you don't look disappointed. That's not fair to her. You don't want to.
When you say you're gonna get fucked, does that mean you were a player back in your day? Because I do have a theory about men who have girls.
I mean, listen, every single guy is. I hate to tell you, but every single guy is. But, but no, I lucked out. I lucked out twice. But luckily, I have one that isn't interested in a girl either.
That's what my perspective changed now, and Coop could probably attest to this, right? Once you have a girl as a father, you definitely feel like every guy should have a girl.
Yes.
Yeah, we're pretty cool. I mean,
I have one and I'm happy. Yeah.
I think we're pretty cool. So
there's a bond. There's listen to me. I got a son, so there's a bond with your baby girl. that it's not the same, and it's completely different. And that old saying is, your sons go and they leave and they explore, they go in the world, but your baby girl will always be your baby girl is 100% truth.
Yep.
Like
my
I'm
dad
okay with that.
I have a sister, so my dad only had girls, and he said he wanted girls too. But I would never consider myself daddy's little princess, but I'm definitely my father's daughter, 100%. I'm exactly like my dad, but as a woman. So.
Yeah, I'm telling you, if you look at any man, because I'm the same way. I grew up, just my brother and I, no, they had no sisters. That's I said, I don't even have the tools to deal with raising a girl. I mean, what the fuck am I going to do raising a girl, But yeah, it's a blessing. It's a blessing. It's not as, don't get me wrong.
Well, what were you pleasantly surprised about?
It's a trade-off, because I totally agree with that. And I see it because I see it with Marissa and the way she is with her dad,
Right.
But the trade-off is, I also don't have to bond with my daughter's boyfriend either. So that's the trade-off that I get. But it's totally true, for sure.
Listen, I'm going to tell you something.
My sons will probably leave and go out in the world and be men in the world,
I never thought I would be able to accept that moment.
Yeah. What are you going to do?
I'm telling you, I've been there. I never thought, like, when that day comes, I'm going to be the shittiest dad in the world. But you don't. They change you, man. They change you.
Yep.
They have an effect on you. And at the end of the day, you just realize at some point, look, you're going to want her to start a family someday. You're going to want her to be.
Is it okay? This is what I'm confused about. Do men get a little insecure having daughters because they have to view women differently as opposed to just having a wife or a girlfriend? Is that where there's a level of insecurity when it comes to actually raising a daughter?
No, it's more, have you ever walked around the mall and seen 15-year-old little girls with their ass and tits hanging out?
Yeah.
That's
exactly
what it is. That's what it is.
It's terrible. Terrible.
That's going
to be. They don't have dress codes in schools anymore. It's ridiculous.
But that's a parental thing. That really is. I mean, what kind of parent lets them do that? Doesn't try to raise them with a better self-worth or whatever. I mean, a lot of that's parent.
But listen, even that, look, man, your fucking kid, okay, you don't want her to wear them shorts, she's going to put them in her fucking bag and wear pants out the door. And
I did this.
I just went to a wedding and saw a lot of young people.
That's what I'm saying.
Alex,
it's like I hung my pool stick out the basement window. Kids are going to.
Here's what happens. The fact that you have them doing that and know that that's something they got to hide from you. Eventually, that gets ingrained in them when they get older. My dad, I had to hide tons of shit from my dad. Then you get to the point where you're like, oh, he was fucking right. I shouldn't be doing this, right? It's different. There are parents that condone it, that allow it, that go buy their little kids these types of clothes.
I agree.
Oh, there's just also lazy parents too. I've met the
100%. That's what it is.
Lazy parents out there.
No, it's not even lazy parents, and it's more.
They just want to deal with competition and dealing.
I'm going to call it. I'm going to call it how it is. Too many single mothers are trying to live through their daughters.
Yep.
I never thought of that.
I see that. I do see that. I'm not saying all, but there are a lot. Yeah.
And listen, and I'll be fair, single dads too. Single dad, and not just single dads. Dad, if you're at the point where your son is crying because you want him to be an NFL wide receiver, you're doing too much. So that we all do it. We all, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to.
You're
Men
right.
are guilty of trying to live through their children.
So basically, being a parent is like you get to relive your
classic example. Who's the ball dad? The LaMelo, whatever, the LeVar Ball. He total example, living through his children. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So we all do it, but I think that is part of the problem with seeing little girls looking like adults.
I think we all do it a little bit, right? But you also have to have that thing that realizes that, look, if I want to live through my son, I want him to have better opportunities and shit than I did. I mean, it's not like I don't want my kid to be me, but I want him to excel and be good at whatever he wants to do. I mean, Alex and I were just having a talk, I played sports my whole life. I played organized sports, whatever. And I've just come to the realization as my son at the age of 11 is just not going to be a sports kid. He's just not. He likes it. So, I take him to the basketball game. He's got a game at 4:00 today, but it's just not him.
Yeah, but you know what, Abe? That's almost, even though, look, I get it as a guy, it sucks. But it's almost, take it as a relief now. You can take him and just let him enjoy. You ain't got to worry.
I don't get aggravated when he's
not into it to excel, and he's just into let it. Then you ain't got to worry about him
I don't get aggravated. I don't wake out.
Right.
The thing is, when you as a parent, when you talk to them, you're doing it in the hopes to make them better.
Yep.
But then when you realize, hey, look, no matter what I say, this kid's just not in the frame to become better or try to be better or whatever. So you're right. It becomes easier now. You just go, hey, but instead of the last couple of years, because he was excelling, but now, he hasn't been working hard. And all these kids, I showed Alex a picture of one of the kids he was playing against the other day, kids like 6'2". These kids blew up in the last year. My son hasn't kept up. He hasn't. So now he's like really just out of sync. Now, instead of spending 10, 15 minutes in the driveway going over what he needs to do better, after a game, I walk out. Did you have a good game? Did you have fun? Yeah. Let's go. Get something to eat. Become simpler. You're actually right.
Yeah.
Right. Because it's a very thin line you got to tread too between helping them excel and beating them down. Because you got to beat them down a little bit to help them excel. You got to tell them what's wrong.
Yeah, you're right.
Thin line you got to tread.
It is a thin line.
So yeah, okay.
Level of grit.
Look, that's how I am with chess with Carmine. Carmine knows how to play chess. He play rarely, but he don't care about it like I care about it. So if he'll randomly play a game with me, what's well, cool. That's what I get. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna force it down his throat. Sometimes you got to just cede the loss. Sorry, your kid's not into what you're into.
That's what it goes. All right, everybody, we have to take a very short break, but we have a lot more coming up in hour number 2 of KMA Talk Radio. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Keep it lit. Honest Abe here with the GOAT to tell you about Smokin's Cigar of the Month Club. Alex, tell our fans out there why our club is the best darn club out there.
Absolutely.
I'll tell you why. Because every month I personally handpick 5 premium cigars. No filler, no fluff, no fugazis. These are all premium handmade name brands that you can find in any brick and mortar store in your area. All delivered to your door for $34.95. And our average monthly retail value since the inception of our club has been almost $57. Another great feature of our Cigar of the Month Club, Alex, tell them about the ease of our Cigar of the Month Club. Sure. I'll tell you, I hate subscription services. It's always a pain to cancel them, turning them on. We've made it super simple. All you got to do is log into your account. There's a little green button there. If it's green, you're active. You want to take a break, you're going out of town, Simply hit the button and you'll deactivate your membership. Want to turn it back on? The exact same easy process. You can turn it right back on. We've made it that easy for you. Another great feature is our Double Down Club. Alex, tell them about the Double Down Club. We had so many of our members reach out to us who really enjoyed our selections every month. They wanted to know there was a way they can get 2. And we've made that very simple. With a simple check mark, you can get double this great selections every month and save $10. Does our club have perks? Of course it have perks. You want to tell them about the perks? As a member of our club, every month there's a special discount code where if you like any of the selections, we will offer them to you, so you want to come and get some more, you can get them at a special discounted rate for our Cigar of the Month Club members. And finally, expedited shipping. Tell them how fast we get the stuff out, Alex. We get the stuff out on the 28th of every month. Our membership bills on the 28th, and we get every member's package out on the 28th if it's a shipping day. 5 great reasons on what makes Smoking Cigar of the Month Club the best club out there. Check it out. Peace. Hey, I really appreciate you doing the video with me. Thanks.
Oh, yeah, you're welcome. I mean, you didn't let me get a word in, but whatever.
What?
Well, great. It's perfect.
Welcome back to hour number 2 of KMA Talk Radio, everyone. As always, I'm here with my trusted crew, Alex Tavella, William the Scoop Cooper, and our lovely guest, Lauren. So I was off the comment sections before we went to the break, but I see Oliver with a comment here. I couldn't see it because I was getting ready for the commercials, but he's absolutely right. And this is my approach with my kids, right? Because I tell them, I said, look, man, if your room's going to be filthy, you're going to be punished. You know, if you get bad grades, yeah, we're not going to be thrilled about it. You're going to be punished, right? But at the end of the day, being sloppy, not getting good grades, being lazy, it's going to affect your life moving forward. The one thing I have zero tolerance for is you can't be bad human beings. That's where I'll lose it. Every one of you have to be decent human beings and contribute something positive to this world. And the rest, we go through the motions. And that's the one thing I've stuck with them since early on. So I get that.
You also have to raise your kids to be somewhat likable too, because they have to assimilate into society, and being likable is so much easier.
Yeah.
I got a problem with one of mine. If you know what I could do, let me know. One of them is so hard, man. Really.
Really hard to like.
I really think that if she ever gets married, I might have to pull the guy aside and say, look, man, I just want to give you a heads up. You sure? You know, this one's going to be a tough one. But who knows? Anyways, Alex, we have a Name That Jam?
We does.
All right, it's that time in the show, folks, where we test the musical acumen of not only our hosts, but you out there. It's time to find out if you can name him.
All right, Cooper, you good? You good to go?
Bottom header.
I remembered the bottom header.
The bottom header. There we go. Brought to you by the fine folks over at Avo Cigars.
All right, this week we are going with another AI-generated cover song.
Oh, these are hard, man.
Pay attention to the lyrics. Here we go.
On.
Gold Coast slave ship bound for cotton fields, sold in the market down in New Orleans. Scarred old slaver knows he's doing all right. Hear him whip the women just around midnight. Brown sugar, how come you taste so good? Brown sugar, just like a young girl should.
Cooper got it at the end. I left the end in. Was it a layup with the verse? Was it a layup with the verse, Cooper? I felt the verse was a little too hard. That's why I left it.
The end of it was the layup.
Sure, of course.
Yeah. The beginning I didn't have it, but the end of it got it. Yeah.
I knew the verse was a little tricky. That's why I left the chorus in.
Yeah.
One more time.
And you,
No.
now, dude, that
I-
Jesus won't help me get this one.
No,
Let's see if
that's not
anyone
as
got-
hard,
It's not
man, you know?
Tupac, by the way. It's a complete.
That's not
Hold
Tupac.
on,
It's not a rap song.
Let's see if our special host has a clue here.
I
Lauren,
have
any
No,
no
idea?
Lauren, understand,
No
Lauren. This is
idea.
not
What he
not a
does
rap
is
song.
he takes the lyrics and has AI create like a completely different sounding song.
different genre of
yeah.
music.
So you're
the song.
supposed to guess from the lyrics only, but the beat and the sound throws you off. He did this for the first time last week.
Yeah.
and it
Yeah.
throws me off completely. I can't tell you what this song is if Jesus was here.
Yeah,
They
I-
got it. They
I
got
guess
it.
Coops-
Go ahead, Cooper. Because the crowd's
Brown
getting-
Sugar by the Rolling Stones.
Brown Sugar by the Rolling Stones.
Yep.
I never even heard those lyrics in the song.
Oh,
That's why I left the chorus in and he had the Brown Sugar part. I knew I had to give a little something.
when as soon as
Wait, let
Brown
me hear
Sugar,
that again.
I was stumped until and Kent did get it beforehand. By the way, when I give him, I think he was the first one to get it.
Yeah, Kent got it.
But yeah, it was if Brown Sugar wasn't said, I probably wouldn't have gotten.
Yeah,
this
that's
one.
why I left it in there. That's
Let
why
me
I
hear
left
that
it in
again.
there. All right. Take it away.
Gold Coast slave ship bound for cotton fields. Sold in the market down in New Orleans. Scarred old slaver knows he's doing alright. Hear him with the women just around midnight. Brown sugar, how come you taste so good? Brown sugar, just like a young girl should.
And it actually was a midnight line followed by Brown Sugar because that when you hear that opening verse and it ends with midnight, that's kind of. But I wouldn't have gotten it beforehand.
Now I gotta go hear that song all over again.
Dun, 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 dun.
Well, this fine segment was once again brought
I
to you
love
by-
this segment. This is fun. This segment.
I don't know if I like this rendition of it. I enjoyed the other ones way more.
We won't get nailed for
And
we won't
we
get
won't
nailed.
get-
Well, that's the
Yeah,
upside.
of
That's the
course.
upside. We don't
Yeah.
get nailed for playing the music, but
Yeah.
geez, this is hard. I like
You
the
know
way
what's funny though?
This
you
was
know,
a hard one. This was a hard
even
one.
when you read lyrics, just monotone, read them. It was easier than listening to them to a different beat of music.
You know what's interesting though? Like when I copy the lyrics into the AI, I have to like remove the commas and any punctuation or it kind of flag like it catches it as regular lyrics. But if I remove all the punctuation, it doesn't flag it. Because you can't just steal lyrics from like it was pretty good. I couldn't get the Beatles at all. It was like, no, content violation.
Really? Like you
Yeah.
can't even just take a sample? I thought you could take samples of music though.
Maybe it's
It wouldn't let me.
really you get through
If
sometimes.
it's really
We-
short, like I said, when I moved the punctuation and kind of like it changed it a little bit, it worked, but it was stopping me for quite a few.
we got away with a lot of name that jams, and we were playing like 3 seconds of audio.
Right, you're right. I think you just keep it around 10 seconds, Gary. You can get away.
Wow.
Anyways, Cooper, you're at Lazona, huh?
I'm
First
at
2 nights in the
Lazona.
book.
How's it going?
First, it's an interesting thing, Lazona, right? This event pretty much has been the same event for the last 8 or 9 years. They don't change the formula, and it works for them. I mean, I see other events that evolve, and there's nothing wrong, by the way, with keeping a format if people are happy with. But they have kept this same format for really. They made a couple of tweaks along the way, but really they've kept the same format since day one. So tonight is going to be the park night again. You know, they have the big night at the park. There was a big announcement made at Lazona, and I'll say it, but we don't have the details. The devil of the details is going to come out. Espinosa announced they're opening a Dominican factory.
Oh, snap.
That's because of everything going on in Nicaragua, I'm sure. So that was a big announcement that was made, and it's going to be their factory, from what they told us.
I'm very surprised at any Nicaraguan company who hasn't positioned themselves for a transition in the near future. Just in case.
Yeah. And give them credit. I mean, this was, from what I heard, this was Eric's call to make that call. It wasn't like someone had to convince him. So give Eric a lot of credit with that. Yeah.
I mean, I'm pretty sure because I know Padron doesn't sell anything. I remember when I first got in this business, Padron's boxes were coming with Nicaraguan and Honduran labels.
I've had the Honduras Padron years ago. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it was just tobacco. They just sent to Honduras and rolled it.
Right. Yeah. But I remember getting it out of that box.
They were prepared because of possible, uneasiness in the country that they may have to close their Nicaragua factory down. So it's it's a really sketchy situation if your business is in Nicaragua.
Yeah.
I really hate to be in that situation of just constant unsureness of what future lie ahead.
Very difficult to do business.
Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah. But good. I think it also, it's. Talking to Hector, he's pretty excited about being able, obviously to work with another factory, and it's probably gonna be working with other tobaccos. And I think and Hector does most of the blending, Hector Alfonso. That's kind of exciting for him because he's gonna get a chance to really play with some other tobaccos right now. So, yeah.
Do you go down to Palooza every year?
I pretty much do. The only way the year my dad passed was the only one I missed. I actually was going to skip this year's, but because we had the wedding, I said, "Let me just go." So.
Oh, was the wedding down here?
The wedding was in North Florida. Yeah, that was way.
Okay.
And my wife came down to Miami with me. This is one of the few times, and she's loving it down here. I can just tell you that. So, because this area we stay in is really nice. Miami Lakes is beautiful. The rest of Miami I can do without.
Are we seeing a relocation?
No, because until I can get insurance, there's no way. You can't get insurance down here. So, home insurance. I mean, they're not.
No, it's nearly impossible.
It's nearly impossible. So until that situation changes, I ain't moving.
Like they're going to pay you out anyway, even if you did.
I was looking about a year ago is when I started.
Hold on. What do you mean you can't get house insurance?
You can't. They won't warranty. Like right now, you can't get home insurance. It's a big problem in Miami.
I just renewed my policy.
You're in Miami.
Oh, Miami. Well, Miami is not the place to live.
I want to live in Miami Lakes. That's the area.
Miami's a place to go visit.
Yeah, I can't imagine living in Miami.
Miami Lakes is. I love Miami Lakes though. That's the one area I really just love. This area. It's very peaceful. It's kind of not like the rest of Miami. Yeah.
I feel like Miami's like Southern California on steroids.
Yeah. No, Miami's like Southern America.
Yeah.
As in like
South America?
Yeah, as in like South America. Yeah. Not the country, the continent.
Yeah.
They're not included in the US.
Yeah, we don't count them. It's kind of like Austin.
Miami's part of Central America.
Yeah, Miami's a different universe. It really is.
The rest of Miami I could do without. Going out like downtown Miami, Miami Beach, I have no use for. So,
my daughter, she really wants to go to University of Miami, but I think she's gonna end up going to Gainesville.
I was
or Florida State. I think that's
gonna be Carmine. Carmine wants to go to. But him, I just think football.
What, Miami?
Yeah, but I just think the U is a cool football team. Sorry,
it's in Coral Gables, which is pretty. FIU. I was actually down there yesterday in that area. That's a huge university, Florida International.
It's funny you mentioned that school. I have to publicly speak at FIU next week.
Wow, it's massive, that place.
Let me see my calendar. I am speaking to some class.
Oh, wait, you doing the PCA thing?
Yeah.
Cool.
Wow, that's breaking news there.
Whoa, yeah, it is. He just spit that. Hold up.
I had to put two and two together.
Wait a minute. Thank you, Coop, because I didn't know where this is coming.
Well, listen, Abe, good for you. They need to hear from you. They need to hear from you. Yes.
For their students, it's a luxury retail marketing and consumer experience. So
yeah, they left one thing out of that agenda. They did not talk about media, which they should. But I'll give them. Of course, I had it.
But they're not media people.
What?
They're people in hospitality. They're not media people.
How would luxury brands use media though? Is kind of would be my thing on that.
Yeah,
and maybe it is part of it. I don't know. Yeah.
Could be part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm going down. It's 9 a.m. So I'm gonna go down Wednesday night and stay there and just go Thursday. That's funny that you brought up FIU.
Well, I knew the timing. That's why when you said I have to speak down there, I'm like, I know that this is a big deal.
Videos. Who's watching videos right now? In the middle of the show, Lauren.
I don't think that's
not me. It's
not me. Background noise for me. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, it could be back. She's in a lounge. Remember?
That's true.
Yeah.
Sorry. I'll put me on mute for a bit.
No, you're good. I can mute and unmute you when I hear.
Oh,
like your win was kicking for a while.
Coop, how are we situated on news this week?
Oh, we got an interesting week. We got 5 stories, so there's some pretty interesting ones this week.
Yeah, some talkative
There's
shit.
one that's going to be, I think, a good discussion one too.
All right. Well, why don't we wind it up? Check out what our friend has to say about what's going on in the industry. It's time to find out what's the scoop with our friend Coop.
What's my theme music?
The Scoop with Coop. Breaking industry news. Hear it first on KMA Talk Radio and cigar-coop.com.
Before you start, Coop, Gary, I missed your question. If you're talking about Zonapalooza, yeah, it's like you have to be invited. They don't even like allow other retailers to come or nothing. I don't think Eric likes it when other manufacturers come even. I mean, it's like an invite only, and it's based
they want you posting on social media about Espinosa, and if you actually post on social media and they miss you, they tell you can contact them, and they'll validate you.
Yeah. It's basically on your social media presence for Espinosa cigars.
Yeah.
All right, Koopa, what you got?
So next year, we're going to see a very interesting time in the world. We're going to see the semi-quincentennial in the U.S., the America's 250th birthday. Abe, you're probably the only one who can remember the bicentennial. It was a big marketing boom.
1976.
Big marketing boom. Well, there is a committee that's been put together, the Semi-Quincentennial Commission, to basically do everything around the America 250, and they've actually have some branding now that they're basically licensing out to companies. It's called America 250, and J.C. Newman has basically licensed the right to use the America 250 on some of their cigars. So any of the cigars coming out of Elder Hole in Tampa, Florida, they're going to have a footer band with America 250 on it. They're not going to be new blends. They're just going to put these bands on them to kind of commemorate them. But I guarantee you, I already know a couple companies, you're going to see a ton of America 250 cigars next year. This is going to be a big deal. They're all going to be doing these 250 birthday cigars. Like, it's going to be like year of whatever this next year.
So they're just buying the right.
They're buying the right to put the America 250 logo as a footer band. So the American will have it. Donald Cuesta, anything coming out of Elder Hole, which is made in the U.S., is going to have this.
Well, being the media guy, do you know what they sell that for? I'm curious.
I don't.
Cool. Supposed to dig.
I actually just found out. Literally, I got back to my hotel last night and found out about this story as I was prepping. So I got to do a little more work on that one. This, like I said, this was something that broke late yesterday.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah, but I think, like I said, I
so like I'm just maybe you don't even know the answer. So like, will like Big Macs have a sticker on it, America 250? Like, is that what they want like companies to do?
Yeah, I think that's what
like help. They're gonna pay a fee just to use this logo on whatever it is they're selling.
Yeah. Yep.
I wonder. I mean, they did tobacco, so I'm curious. Are they gonna?
I'll tell you.
I mean,
I'll tell you, Abe. Amazon, Jeep, Dodge, Coca-Cola, Coinbase, Domino Sugar, Goldman Sachs, Kraft Heinz, Lockheed Martin, Oracle, UFC, Walmart. Nah, they're going big with this.
Yeah, they're going big with this. So I mean, but I think there's a smaller tier as well. When I was looking at the website, but
no, he's saying it's too. Are you kidding me?
250.
I'm gonna buy it from my son's icy stand. Put them on the goddamn ices. 250.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, there's smaller partners. There's
1976 was the first. Like, it was nuts with bicentennial. If you remember, McDonald's had it. It was all over the place.
Bicentennial quarters.
Yeah, bicentennial quarters, bicentennial TV things and TV shows. It was crazy back then. It was the first big marketing. I think it was the first big commercialization I remember in my lifetime. What was 76? This one's been a little quieter so far. The 250 is not as big as the bicentennials, but I noticed I noticed a couple of manufacturers who already have plans for an America 250 cigar, but I don't think it will have this branding though.
I hate to say it, Coop, but the country was a little more united 50 years ago. We were probably a little more behind celebrating America 50 years ago.
Do you feel like it's taking a turn though? I feel like it's kind of taking a turn in that direction where people are more patriotic.
We were coming out of Vietnam, and I think the bicentennial brought a lot of people together in 76.
Well,
that's what I remember about it. Yeah. We were only 3 years removed from Vietnam, I think, at that point.
True.
Yeah.
Very true.
So, hopefully that will do that.
It's really interesting. America 250.
Yeah.
I wonder what we're going to see. I'm trying to really...
See, the government needs to start doing more things like this and less things like Texas. More things like this, less things like Texas.
Yeah.
More things like this, less things like Texas.
Yep, exactly. I mean, like I said, this I think is a very good thing to bring the country together. This is pretty exciting. I'm curious. I don't know.
This is revenue. This is a good Jason.
It's good revenue.
It's good revenue. It's revenue.
Right. It's good revenue. Yeah.
So speaking of that, before Coop goes on to his next story, I'm curious because I don't know this answer. I was wondering if you knew, Alex. So, coming up in the next ballot is going to be the removal of property taxes in Florida. DeSantis is going to happen. Yeah. Which is, I've been saying for years, God rest his soul, my partner, Harry Hersey Jr.
I agree with Harry totally.
Yeah, he used to say that home is the biggest scam in the fucking country because no one ever really owns your home. And you say you think you own your home, don't pay your taxes, see what happens. They take it.
So are you looking for an update on that?
I was wondering, do you know if that's because look, one of the things I never understood by Florida when I moved here is certain things that got taxed, which I've never seen in my life before I moved to Florida. And part of that is a service tax, right? I didn't even buy a product, I'm getting taxed, right? I get a bill for my rent for my businesses. They're putting a tax on it.
Well, I was used to in PA. There's no tax on clothes. There's no sales tax on clothes.
They removed the tax on leases and rents, which I thought was genius because I thought that was the stupidest thing ever. And they're going to remove this tax. But I wonder, is it just for residential real estate or is it for commercial?
Yes. No, it is just. So if it goes through, it will just be for your homesteaded home. If you own multiple homes, it's the home that you live in.
Okay.
If you're creating income.
Fair enough.
It's fair. If I'm creating income off a home, then sure, I pay taxes on it.
Is there any other states that don't have a property tax?
Zero. Florida would be the first. But what's interesting, Abe, is DeSantis sent this down, and the state legislator has to, put it together to put on the ballot. So what they did was they came up with it was like 5 questions. And DeSantis turned around and said, no, fuck you. That's not what I'm asking for. You're confusing people. It's a simple 1-answer question. Property tax, no property tax. Yep. 5 questions confuses everybody. This is what we always do. It's a single question. And he sent it back to me.
Mm-hmm.
He's right.
So we shall see. It is. That's how they did. And then you confuse people. You got 5 different options, and no one option gets enough of the vote to pass. That's what happens.
Yeah, I was looking at Gary's comment here. He says anything government involved is considered public domain, not copyright. I don't know the answer to that. I'm just saying Gacy Newman said they licensed this. So, yeah, I'm going to be honest. I don't know other than they said they got a license to use it.
Well, listen, this may not be government involved. I don't know.
No, I think there's some, like I said, I think there's some politicians and some non-politicians on this committee is all I know. Yeah. So it's a good point. I have to look. Like I said, this broke pretty late last night. Like when I got back from Arizona, I had this info. So
interesting.
Yeah.
All right. What else you got for us, Coop?
Well, there is a new Ashton release that's come out, and it's been surprised. It's on the La Roma de Cuba. It is the La Roma de Cuba small batch. Now, this cigar was actually introduced a year ago. It was the house cigar for Ashton Cigar Bar in Philadelphia. So now they are taking it national. It's going to be
it's now La Roma de Cuba large batch.
Yeah, it's not La Roma de Cuba large batch, I guess, right? But they're calling it small batch. Comes in one size, a 6x52 Toro. Now, I don't have the pricing on this just yet, but from what I remember, this was not a cheap cigar when I was in Philadelphia. So I think it was like a $20+ cigar.
Oof.
Yeah, so it's not a cheap one. That's
How
coming
much?
out.
How much?
$20+, I believe it was.
That's ridiculous.
It was very high price from what I remember being in the lounge. I have to double check that. So this was another thing I kind of got last night that kind of came in. They're planning on producing these annually. I guess there'll be a run each year of them. But they actually is continuing to put everything into La Roma de Cuba. That's what we've seen for the past 4 or 5 years now.
Let me ask you a question. Oh, go ahead, Lauren. So
is it going to be like the same price point you think as the previous?
My guess, yeah.
I don't know. I think
they can't make it less.
Yeah,
they can't make it less, Lauren. How about all the people that have been buying it for the last couple of years?
Good Lord.
Yeah,
they can't make it less. Coop, is it me? I mean, look, I remember when I first got in the industry, Sal Fontana walking me up to Robbie Levin and introducing him to me. Because Ashton at the time, this was during the boom, wasn't opening up any accounts.
Right.
And he said, "There's a dear friend of mine. I'd like you to open them up and whatever." Right. Of course, Robbie did. And you're going to laugh. They would only sell me accessories. I couldn't buy any cigars. Wow. It was a year. Can you believe they got away with that kind of shit back then? So I had to buy accessories from Ashton for a year before they finally started selling me cigars, right? Do you feel And look, I'm sure they sell cigars. We sell them. A lot of people buy them. But is their relevancy waned?
There's definitely, they are not. Look, and I know Andy Greenwell. He's a good guy, and but it seems like something's gotten lost. Like Ashton was one of these brands. It was like a staple in every. You had to have Ashton in there. I
Literally,
think
you couldn't consider opening up a store without Ashton.
You couldn't get. Now I don't see it as that anymore.
I don't think they have the relevancy. I don't think they're tuned in.
I think something's missing. I mean, I like some of the repackaging they've been doing over the past few years, but it's all been on La Aroma de Cuba. And La Aroma de Cuba, nice blends, not a compelling enough blend to me for bringing my store, in my opinion.
Well, I mean, from a personal standpoint, I don't think they're a really exciting brand.
Nothing's exciting about them.
No.
The last true exciting thing, really, I don't care if you want to say symmetry, right? The last true exciting thing that ever came out of Ashton was VSG.
Yeah, VSG's great.
That's what I'm saying.
Years ago.
Yeah. And by the way, VSG still is a very good cigar, but it's not. When I got into this, VSG was like, and ESGs, those were the ones that we were just like.
If I got 15 boxes of VSGs back in the day, they were gone before I closed the door.
Yeah.
We never even would put them in the humidor.
Yeah.
And everybody would look for the darker ones because the darker ones always tasted so much better than the lighter ones. There was a huge variance in color in VSGs in the early days. But I don't know. I think they're mailing it in. I think they're going through the motions. They got their retail stores, they got their catalog, and I just think they're just going through motions. That's it.
Yeah, they've really become like that footprint that has I would venture to say has probably shrunk in almost everybody's humidor. And at this point, for those that carry it, you literally carry it because you still got 4 or 5 guys that want
to haven't passed away yet.
Ashton. Right. Nobody knew coming in for that Ashton Classic.
You're pretty much on
4 or
their
5 guys
song.
that are still alive. The guys that are smoking it are. The guys that are smoking Ashton Classic are pretty much on their swan song or getting to
I always say this to retailers, especially, like, you have to have a responsibility of trying to bring the younger generation back in to create that excitement, to continue the legacy of cigar culture and cigar purchasing. You can't just always concentrate on the demographic that's on its way out. I mean, that's going to kill a brand. That's going to kill a store. So, like Ashton, I don't think I've smoked Ashton in years because it doesn't resonate with me as a younger consumer.
I'm going to tell you something right now. I can't tell you the last time, and I'm in a lot of groups on social media. I can't tell you the last time. I might have seen pictures of some La Aroma de Cubas. I can't tell you the last time I see a picture of just an Ashton Classic.
No, that's kind of where I was going with that.
In any photo, in anybody's thing. If you're out, let me ask you a question, because right now we got 100 people watching. If you have an Ashton in your humidor, comment now. I really would like to know.
I don't remember last
time. I don't.
In your humidor.
It also doesn't help, and Abe can attest to this 100 times over. It also doesn't help that they suck to deal with. They don't do anything. They don't.
No, they're terrible.
It's it doesn't help their cause either. It's not like, I want to work with them, I just can't. They're not even.
Do their employees even want to work with them?
I don't know. Who's the Ashton rep? I ain't been knowing the Ashton rep since bow tie. As far as I'm concerned, bow tie is still the Ashton rep.
I mean, it's interesting because I am one of the few media brands that covered them at a trade show. So a lot of newer media brands don't even go there. We've gone there. We've gone there pretty much every year for the most part.
They should be, Cooper.
Yeah,
unfortunately, they're not giving you any reason to, but they should.
Ashton
there should be a reason to cover Ashton cigars.
And that's not a disrespect to any of them. I don't know. Like I said, I just happen to keep knocking on the door until I got in there. But I don't see a lot of media guys cover them. So it's it's pretty much maybe 2 or 3 media sites that cover them right now, and they could use some media coverage for some of these newer next gen sites, in my opinion.
Our dear friend from Flint and Knoll Wines,
it's great
wines, great. Listen, we should have him on the show again because I just want
to. He's great. We absolutely
want to get some more wine. Let's be honest, but no.
I just want to say shout out to him because this is just proof that this guy is a real cigar smoker. Because VSG isn't even the cigar they use in his cigars. This guy cigar. He is a cigar guy.
Yes, and he's got a great cigar. One of my
fantastic.
If I'm going to smoke anything from Ashton, it's going to be a VSG.
I'm going to go as far as say best Macanudo I ever smoked.
Let me ask you a question though. When
the Macanudo Flint Knoll.
No, best Macanudo I ever smoked.
I'm with you on that. And I don't know.
It is the best Macanudo I've ever smoked. I agree.
I don't know what we have left on the site because I know we offer all the Flint Knolls on the site. But if we have any left, you guys really pick them up.
Listen, that was
such a worthy cigar. And,
highest rated Macanudo we ever had on Coop. Yeah.
And so are the wines. Go get you some Flint Knoll wines. Get you some Macanudo Flint Knolls. Have yourself a night. Trust me. You won't go wrong. You'll thank me later.
I just thought of something. If they do it again, if they're doing another one, which I assume they are, it's been popular.
Oh yeah.
That should probably be a Grove cigar. That's a perfect Grove cigar.
You're the man.
I know, but you gotta figure out. I don't want to have some. We got 3 boxes of, and then they're asking.
You're literally no. We can get you.
That's what I'm asking. That's what I'm asking. If we can get them, I mean, seems like the perfect.
Yeah, definitely. You're basically the point of contact for that account.
I got Danny in there though. Danny's working with me in there. It's not so
he's not Mr. Personality though.
No, that's all right. But he's in there. He can see if I'm working. He responds. Right. You know what I mean? They don't things don't sit for them.
But let me ask you one more question before we close out the Ashton piece. When Manny Ferrero died, did you think that's when everything changed? Yes. I think that's what happened. So Manny Ferrero, for people who don't know, was an incredible personality.
That's when the internal culture began to change.
Well, didn't they lower their employee salaries too? Like I heard that they lowered the sales rep salaries.
I don't know about that for a fact.
Yeah, I don't know either. I can't comment. I can't comment on that. But Manny Ferraro was a character. That guy.
Former police officer.
Yep.
Okay, former police officer.
Yeah.
Basically, I believe was the vice president at the time.
Yeah.
And his nickname, he was very close friends with Sal Fontana. They were both Italian.
Yeah.
So I got to know Manny well. His nickname was the Animal because he was the Animal. I mean, this guy ran on 130%. Passed away on the dance floor at the TAA.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Very sad. Very sad.
I think that
died suddenly. Yeah, it was very sudden.
I think that was the turning point of the internal culture. Shortly after that,
it changed.
Was gone. People started leaving. Reps started leaving.
Yeah.
And look, say what it is, what you want to say, but Ashton was a giant. Okay, so in the early days, Fuente was king, and Ashton had a deal, and Fuente was making Ashton cigars. They still do today, right? It's all made by Fuente. All their Ashton line brands, VSG. I mean, it's funny because people open up a box and they see Carlito's picture. I don't even know if that insert's still on the inside of a box. But when you open a box of VSG, there's a little paper in there with a story of VSG, and there's a picture of Carlito Fuente on an Ashton box. But that was a coup for them back in the day, right? I mean, you have Fuente making your cigar for you, and it put them on the map, and they were giants.
Yeah.
And, I think between that and it just became a complete changing of the old guard to the new guard.
Yeah.
Robbie, God bless him, slows down, retires, new core takes over. And I think it's just look, like I said, we still sell it. I'm pretty sure they're not crying about their numbers. They're just slowly fading away. I gotta believe their market share is dwindling here and there, so it's just interesting to see it, especially in my career where they went from such a giant to I never even hear anybody talking about them ever.
Yeah.
Really? I mean,
Manny was able to connect with the younger people, even Manny, though. I noticed when he was there.
Everybody
he just had a way of connecting with people really well.
I mean, it's true. I just can't. I hate it, but I can't think of the last time I saw I scrolled through an Ashton Classic, or a Ashton Heritage in my feed, man.
Yeah, great cigars too. I love.
Or VSG. You barely even see, and that's
I don't listen any of it, but I don't even think they have any presence at all on social media anywhere. I don't think anybody's running it for them. I mean, listen, even if you don't have a dedicated person, you could tell the companies like Padron or whatever who probably got some media agency running it because it's always posts by Padron. It's never an individual, and it's a company post. And it's a 1926 with an espresso cup shot.
Yeah.
Or whatever. I mean, it's not human posting basically.
Yeah.
But they don't even have that. At least Padron's got that presence, right?
Yeah.
So they don't even have that. So interesting.
And it's just what a shame too, because I mean, you put VSG up against any full body cigar that you're looking. Yeah, it's just a great that nobody remembers. Yeah. I've smoked tons, and I walk through the humidor. I don't even remember that VSG is
I mean, is that a serious question? I know. First off, I don't even understand how he phrased the question. But is that even a question? There's a whole graveyard in companies starting in 2022 alone. Probably more companies went bankrupt in 2022 to 2028 than the rest of the time combined. All the post-boom companies, all the boom companies that came out of the boom died. Yeah, there's tons of companies that go bankrupt in any industry. I'm just curious why they think cigar industry.
Yeah, as opposed to any other industry. Yeah.
Yeah, would be exempt from companies going bankrupt.
I mean, Tim, go look at half the house brands on Cigar International. They were
literally
companies at one time.
Yeah,
they were companies who got bought for pennies.
Yeah. Coop, what's the matter? You look
no, good. I was just looking at something. That's all. No,
okay.
Good. What else you got?
All right. Crown Heads is taking the Tennessee Waltz regular production and making it a 3-size line. If you tuned into my show on May 24th, John Huber actually announced that was happening, and they kind of showed off the packaging this week. It's got they actually put real bands on it with the new Crown Heads logo scheme. It's orange and stuff. It used to have this footer ribbon, but Tennessee Waltz most of the time was only available in Tennessee. They used to one year make it available nationally.
Sprinkle it out, right? We would get it sprinkled out a little bit.
Yeah, sprinkled out. So that's a broadleaf cigar they're making out of pepins, but that is going to be starting to ship this month. And I think they did. Like I said, I thought that was a nice job they did with that packaging this time. So
yes, I like those cigars. Yeah. There's that and the other one that comes out of. I think it's a Texas one.
Yellow Rose.
Yeah,
Yellow Rose.
Well, they have a Hawaii one too, don't they?
They have a Hawaii one. Yeah.
Yeah,
but I think that's only. I've actually. Yeah, the Hawaii one's changed a few times actually, but it's very good.
They're good cigars coming out of pepins for Crown Heads.
Yep, agree. So yeah, look on for that. I'm going to jump ahead one, and I'm going to come back to the last one. There was this week Klaus Kellner, the son of Hank. We talked about Kellner's.
He was on the show. He commented earlier.
Yep, he was on. Yep. Who, by the way, if you haven't had Klaus's blends, he's doing some amazing stuff. But he is doing a cigar for his father. And that is going to be the Kellner LE80. That's for Hanky Kellner's 80th birthday. And it's a beautiful looking, perfecto that they have. A diademus fem, as they call it, 50 by 7 there. So I thought the packaging was amazing on this.
Box is gorgeous on this.
That marbly.
Yeah, it was like a marble top. Let me get there because it was like a marble top. Yeah. It is really nice looking.
Yeah, I've been really. I gotta just say, Jay Davis actually is, and I have talked a lot about what Klaus has been doing. I have a lot of confidence. This is not gonna be a cheap cigar. It's gonna be $57, but it's gonna be, like I said, if it's anything like the stuff I've had from Klaus, I mean, I'm gonna get this cigar. So, but yeah, that packaging was amazing on that thing.
And who's
I've had nothing from him, so I'm intrigued.
He's got a distributor. It's not anyone we know, right? But they're going to be selling that through some group called Reserve Miami. But I think pretty much Klaus is hand selling the cigars to retailers he's got connections to. But I think that Reserve Miami is going to be more of the distribution. It is going to be a 2,000 box release of 10 cigars with 1,500 going to the U.S. market.
Interesting.
Yeah,
that is a beautiful box.
Yeah, they did. I said
that's probably why the cigar costs $57 is because of the box.
Yeah,
let's be fair.
Yep. Yep.
Listen, I've always had this argument with people because you'll hear this more in the cigar industry than any other industry. You'll never hear a guy buying a Rolex saying, "Well, screw all the packaging, screw all the box," or buying your wife a Cartier and just bring it home in a brown paper bag.
It's funny because literally, watch box and papers. Does it have box and papers? What? It don't have box and papers.
Right.
I don't want it. Yeah,
we're the only industry where you hear consumers say, "Fuck the packaging, fuck the boxes,
just give me the cigars."
You remember they were putting Davidoffs in bundles? I mean, I remember they were starting to try to sell Davidoffs in bundles about a few years ago.
Worse. This was an epic fail on their part. They tried to make it a special program, like shit that came out of their rare shit, and you had to sign up for this program, and you got a shipment every month or something of this rare stuff they had lying around they couldn't make a lot of, so you had to sign up for this program. And when they came in bundles, I almost died.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe, like, are you sending me like $30? And this is like 15 years.
Craft paper bundles.
$30 in bundles?
I mean, is it, as a retailer, is it like a love-hate with packaging and boxes in a way? I mean,
I believe in packaging.
Yes.
I believe in packaging.
But it's a hate with stupid packaging.
It's
as
stupid.
a retailer.
It's a stupid
a lot
packaging.
of people come, and that's not even just too
like
much
Chinese
stuff. People
takeout
make
food
stuff
containers, which
that doesn't fit on the shelf, right? Chinese food containers. Where am I putting these on the shelf?
Right.
Where am I stacking these? There's a lot of. No, packaging's part of the deal. Abe nailed it. Like everything else.
Packaging
like
is
everything
crucial.
else.
I hate craft
I
paper
buy a bottle of
I absolutely
cologne.
hate
I buy
them.
expensive colognes.
They're
They come in
ugly
nice boxes and shit.
Yeah.
It's just part of the deal.
Tom, you're right. It was a bad example. That's why I went right to Cartier, right? Rolex's packaging hasn't changed since 1970. Same shit.
Yeah, but guess what? Rolex is the one you want the fucking box with more than anyone.
Of course. But I mean, look, packaging is part of the experience. I mean, I love watching my wife open certain shit. And I expect it. I want to see the cards and all the shit that comes in there and how they wrapped it and how they do it. It's part of the experience. You know, these guys who, we got a very special 10th anniversary cigar, 20th anniversary cigar from Steve Saka. It's being made for the Great Smoke. Now, I've seen the box. Yeah, it's so above. It's so different than anything Steve's ever done. Fits the theme perfectly. But Steve has been doing a Great Smoke cigar since the digital experience.
The worst packaging I've ever seen on it.
Which one? The brown paper?
The brown paper. It's horrible. I'm sorry, Steve.
Listen to me. It's the simplest packaging.
Yeah.
All right. The consumers actually don't mind it. It's got the twine. It's got the stamp. It's a brown craft paper, but it works. I mean, look, these are one and done deals for like an event.
He could get away with that, though. He could get away with that.
Away with it. But let me just say something. In the plain packaging realm, it's still kind of rustic and cool looking. Steve has a gift because I've said this.
Listen, I'll say this, and it's better done than other plain packaging.
That's what I'm talking about.
It's just a sticker slapped on top.
Sorry, it's the worst packaging I've ever seen.
You can take simple shit and make it look elegant. Like if you look at a box of Papa Saka or whatever, it's just a wooden box with a glaze print on it. Fucking looks great. There's nothing dynamic or awesome about it, but it's clean and it's nice. He has a talent with that. But the first comment I made was, or somebody said was when I was talking to, well, fuck the box. It's just gonna make the cigars cost more. I just want the cigars. Yeah, we're gonna come out with 20th anniversary celebratory cigars, and we're gonna put it in a bundle. Like there's like no pride or sense in it.
The thing that I don't understand about that, Abe, the thing that I don't, it should be the exact opposite, specifically in this world, because at the end of the day, all you have left is the box and packaging or the swag. We literally consume the product. The product disappears, and all you have left is whatever swag, box, or packaging is left to remember the moment that this or whatever. If you're into keepsake, the box, the packaging, are going to be all you have.
What?
How many boxes are you going to be keeping?
How many garages? How many garage walls have you seen that are made up of cigar boxes?
I know, and then they have to find. Well, and then you have these huge piles in retailers where they don't even know what to do with the boxes at the end of the day, and then they're in flea markets, which is hilarious.
Listen,
every time.
I have about 8, and I literally have about 8 just to not have empty shelves.
I am not tying the simplicity
but I appreciate
argument that everyone's saying. Steve Saka could get away with it. Most people can't. That's my point. Because it's Saka that he's going to get away with it. I'm not buying this.
Hold on.
I don't know. I think in my generation, we just want less stuff. So, like, I'm more about simplicity.
Listen, even that you have to give Steve Stocka credit, and I don't Steve Stocka does that shitty packaging better than everybody else.
That's my point.
That's what I'm saying.
Coop's saying he's getting away with it because he's Steve Saka.
And he is to a degree.
No, I disagree with you completely. I think he has the gift.
Okay, and I'll say I would agree with that, but most people can't get away with it. We'll do it.
Have you seen the box of Emerald Fish? There is nothing special about that box. It is
It's better than the bundle from last year.
It is. I know, but the point is, his bundles look better than anybody else's bundles, right? With the plain shit and the sticker on it. He has a way. He has a gift of taking something simple and elevating it, right? Just like chefs could take a hamburger.
What was the band on those Great Smoke cigars? It was a white paper band. That was just a generic factory brand.
That was part of the charm. Charm is something that you're not familiar with.
I could get into charm. I am sorry,
charm, Cooper. There you go, Jess. Use that as a soundbite for our market. But no, he's good at it. So I don't even know how we got on this tangent. What part of the news?
I
were we?
mean,
Oh,
Well, we were talking about Colossus packaging.
Well,
how good it
we were
is.
talking about the
Well, look,
$57
I mean,
cigar.
listen. At this point, you know, look, outside of 20th anniversary TGS, you know, that deserves a box. I think the paper bundle is what it is at this point. It's what's like. Listen, I don't need a fucking Tatuaje pork tenderloin in a box. Give me the fucking wood. Give me that butcher. That's what I come to expect.
I think online you could get away with it a little more, but I think in a retail store it's tougher.
No,
No, for sure. But great smoke cigars are for sale.
They're not meant to be on a retail store.
Right.
So that's why it works.
Yeah.
It's you know, they all sell out by the bundle. They're gone. I mean, it's not meant to.
Yep.
You got one more.
One more.
You thought the
news.
next one was going to be the one.
This
This
is the
one.
big-
Same cigar, just renamed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a simple story, but I'm sure it's going to generate discussion. Fuente announced this week they have a new supplier for Cameroon tobacco, Universal Leaf. So they the reports of a Fuente Cameroon shortage, which were exaggerated beforehand. They are going to continue to get Cameroon tobacco, but they are sourcing it now from Universal Leaf, who is a big tobacco broker. In fact, they're a huge company. They're actually listed on the New York Stock Exchange. That's how big the company is.
Cooper, I just want to take a second and say good on you for shutting down the comments. I read your article. People are just crazy. So
There was I had to shut down the people are making. I have anonymous sources. Like, no, you don't have anonymous. We don't put that on that. So I shut it down.
Even the people that weren't, they just immediately went to, they've been touting Mirafell, Cameroon. Now what? Now they got this other shitty Cameroon. Well, so what are they going to do? It's like, dude, like,
listen, the Mirafells aren't growers. They were brokers as well. They were brokering the tobacco out of Cameroon. It doesn't mean they were the only game. They were never the only game in town. Now, what you could say in a fairness argument was Fuente tied themselves to Mirafell for a long time. And they were saying the whole Mirafell's the only Cameroon, blah, blah. That, like they have to deal with that now.
That's fine.
Hold on. At the time, it might have been, but there's options, times change.
Yeah, and listen, and that's fine too. But if you want to come back to that article in 6 months and say, hey, these cigars sucked, I tried them, it definitely ain't the same.
And that's a fair argument. That's a fair argument.
Yeah, Alex,
which is going to happen anyway.
You'll know they'll say that even if it was exactly.
You say that? Yeah, it's going to happen anyway. It's going to happen anyway.
Yeah.
Even if Fuente is literally brokering the same exact tobacco just from a different company, they're still going to say that it's changed.
Listen, I walked down. I've been to Fuente. I've seen the bales of Cameroon tobacco. I have no reason to believe. This is a few years ago. I have no reason to believe they weren't Cameroon bales either. So. There's plenty. Like they had plenty. Right. They're going to continue to have plenty. Like Alex says, if the cigars taste different, then you're gonna hear it. And I think there'll be a natural reaction with some people, but in the end, I think we'll know.
But Cooper, like you said too, you may not see these cigars for 2 years. Who knows what they have it stored? What they, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And from what I understand, they're buying the Fuente's still going to process the tobacco themselves. So. So that's always they're processing it. They're not buying the process.
Right. They're buying raw components. Right.
Yeah. They're buying the raw material. Yeah.
This is a perfect example of, and I see this, God knows how often, about how unknowledgeable a lot of the cigar consumers are, like completely off base, like nowhere to the truth. And they just run with shit because I can't tell you how many emails we get. And here's a perfect example of this, right? Where, okay, we shipped your cigar on Monday. It was supposed to arrive Thursday, right? There's a delay. You're going to get it Monday. Oh, my God. What are the conditions of my cigars going to be? Oh, they're ruined. It's 3 days. I'm like, do you not know that every cigar that comes in this country, by the time it leaves the manufacturer facility on a truck in heat and gets to wherever it's going and then gets frozen and then goes to the doctor.
Stop, Abe. Say that part again because I don't think a lot of people understand that.
Where it gets frozen?
Yep. It's frozen. Your cigars get frozen before they come down.
Yep.
They're okay.
Yeah. Hold on. They get frozen. They go from freezing to extreme heat in a container on a truck going across the Atlantic Ocean.
Right.
This process could take anywhere from 21 to 40 days. Depending on where, it depends on how long customs hold it, how long before it gets off the truck, off the ship,
right?
How long, and then waiting for the delivery truck to come to once it gets unloaded from the container and it sorts through customs to get on that truck. And if you're in Miami, it's a short ride. But if your offices are in California or New Hampshire or whatever, it's on the road for another fucking 4 or 5 days, right? And they think that 3 days in a brown box traveling across the country, it's the end of the fucking cigars. Like,
I've had a retailer do that. We shipped it in state, so maybe it took a day for them to get it. They're like, we have to let the cigars rest. I'm like, they literally been on the road for a day.
Like, do they
from
not
our
know?
warehouse. They're fine.
And they're not shipping these things in reefers or humidified stuff. It's in a container, man, a steel box.
I hate to bring this up, right? I saw a comment. Tobacco is tobacco. Who cares where you buy it from? Right? Companies change all the time. Lauren, I got to go back to McAuliffe because I think one of the big things that McAuliffe did was getting control of their tobacco and getting control of their processing. And it does matter. And I think we've seen such an improvement with the McAuliffe's quality over the past few years because of that. So it does matter.
We didn't have the relationships at first to even purchase good tobacco. So I don't think our blends have expediently improved because we've got those relationships. We have an excellent relationship with the Turrent family and we get a lot of our tobacco from there. But yes, then leasing our own farmland to grow our own tobacco, we're basically, and we have our own factory too. So we're basically taking full control of the productions of our product.
That's the part that people don't realize. Good tobacco, if the post-processing is where the magic kind of really happens too. You fuck that up, you fuck up good tobacco.
Right. I mean,
it doesn't end with just buying good tobacco.
It doesn't. Don't get me wrong. You still have to grow good tobacco, but it doesn't end with that. You're right. It does matter. So it's still a big move for Fuente with this. I don't care what anyone says. This is very big, and they have a very high bar they're gonna have to meet right now with this.
Anything else you got, Coop?
That's it for this week.
All right. For more information, please stay up to date with our dear friend Coop at cigar-coop.com. Always teaser and rumor free. All right. What week are we on?
Week 8.
We're on week number 2. We're in the top 3 now, right?
We're in the top 3.
All right. We're in the top 3. We got 3 more weeks. By the way, does that mean do we number 1 end up on our 600th episode?
No, we 99.
99? Oh, the week before. That works.
Unless we somehow don't do it.
Nah, it works. It works.
That works. All right. It's time for Tale of the Tape.
You know what I'll do, Abe, for 600? I'll go back and I'll grab. We'll do like a review of all our number ones of all.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Actually,
that'd be
cool.
That's
a good idea.
Yeah,
that's
for 600.
So, Lauren is Tale of the Tape. I think it's season 12. What we do is we pick different themes every season, and we go through our top 10 list. This year was TV show theme songs. This season is TV show theme songs, and sometimes we make our own stipulations to kind of narrow the category. So, like mine was, it had to have lyrics; it couldn't be just an instrumental. But before we start, any favorite TV show theme songs that come to your head that you loved?
Buffy the Vampire Slayer. That's pretty.
Oh, interesting one right off the top.
Wow,
yeah,
nice job.
Right, I could see you being a Buffy fan.
Hell yeah, man! That is my childhood.
Did you watch any of the spinoffs?
Yeah, I did watch Angel.
I loved Angel.
Yeah, loved.
I loved Angel. I didn't get into Buffy. I barely watched Buffy.
Oh God,
I love the whole Angel series.
It still hits.
Yeah, I love the whole Angel series. All right, who wants
Lauren's
to start?
Got a little She's got a little Buffy.
She got a little Buffy.
She's got a little Buffy.
Yeah, got a little bit of that.
Buffy. All right, listen. I'll start it off because I think my pick is not as weird as Cooper's pick, but I believe. But I actually know your pick. My pick is probably, I'd almost be willing to bet is either Cooper or Abe's or both of their number ones. And in fairness, on an unbiased list, it is the number 1 TV theme show song of all time. But it's not my number 1, and that's Cheers. Cheers, I can almost guarantee
it's not mine. It's not my number 1. It's not my number 1.
And Cheers deserves to be up there with. I mean, it's probably the quintessential theme song. I feel like if you did a giant poll, Cheers probably wins, but that's my number 3 pick. I got 2 ahead of it.
My number 3 pick, I think you both picked it already, or at least one of you did. I know for sure. We'll look at the leaderboard at the end, but it's got to be up there. Sopranos.
I had it last week.
Yeah, Sopranos comes in at my number 3 pick of TV show themes.
That's a great song.
Just got to be up there.
Got to be in there.
All right. This will lose this week in the poll. So, right. I'm a big fan of Jose Feliciano. Love Jose Feliciano.
I'm a big fan of the other guy.
Oh,
go ahead.
Okay, but so he did a theme song, and this is how I found out about Jose Feliciano, like how I discovered him in the 1970s. Chico and the Man. And
Chico and the Man.
The opening. So there's an opening Chico and the Man film, and the closing one. I'm picking the opening one. It's got that Latin guitar in there. It's a wonderful song in my opinion. And it's always been one of my favorite theme songs. So yeah, Chico and the Man. If folks remember, you have to really go back for that.
I remember watching the show, but that didn't make.
You want to know why I know this song? I know this song. I know this show because I love the other guy. I was, but I went back and I love Grandpa. He's Grandpa Joe.
Oh, Jack Albertson.
Which is
Jack Albertson was I think
Willy Wonka's top 2-3 mine favorite movies of all time. Really,
performance of Jack Albertson.
He's Grandpa Joe. I think he's Grandpa Joe.
I think he won a couple of Emmys for that show too.
Yeah,
and Freddie Prinze, the father of Freddie Prinze Jr., was on that show.
Right.
And that's the only reason
I know that show.
Yeah, but Chico and the Man's are amazing. Because I'm a big Jose Feliciano fan. For me not to put that on there, it's tough. So.
That's a good oddball pick. Cooper's good for oddball pick. That's actually a good oddball pick.
Let's check out our leaderboard. See
all right, let's check out the board.
Yeah, I don't think my number one's odd, but it hasn't been picked yet. I'll say that.
Well, cool.
There's some out there. There's still a few out there.
List right now, since you already said it's number 1, I'm gonna guess that your pick for number 2 is gonna be Cheers. Because if it's not, Cheers didn't make the top 10. That's going to be.
I will. You want me to? Well, let's go teaser free. It is not Cheers. I think that song's overrated. I'm sorry.
Wow. Cheers.
I got better songs than that.
I
feel make your top 10.
It did not make my top 10.
That's
okay. Listen,
but I will believe my number 1 will blow away Cheers.
I want to look at all the songs he
I think Cooper and I may have the same number 1, unless he went some weird old shit. I think Cooper and I, or it could be.
Wait, can you put up the leaderboard again? I want to see all his picks. Yeah, Cheers over The Odd Couple.
I'm not seeing Buffy the Vampire Slayer, so I'm very disappointed.
Benny Hill show was, but that was a closing theme. The Benny Hill show.
I know, but
I still friends.
You had room for Cheers on there. You had room for.
I'm not picking it over Sanford and Son. Sanford and Son's much better.
I didn't pick it over Sanford and Son.
I agree.
I'm not picking it over the Jeffersons. I mean, come on, the Jeffersons is iconic.
Listen, I didn't say those specifically, but you had room for Cheers on there. That was an emotional pick. You're just anti. You're the anti-populist. That's what.
Is your number 1 old? Is your number 1 old?
Yes, it's old.
Wait, I can look at your number 1.
Okay, it's older. It's sort of older, is what I'm going to just say. I'm going to say it's sort of older. Yeah. I did not pick Hanging with Mr. Cooper just because I thought it would be kind of selfish.
That's fair. That's
why I didn't pick it. But it's not Hanging with Mr. Cooper. A lot of people were wondering that. That would have been kind of just too selfish. It would have been in the spirit of the exercise. I excluded.
That's fair.
Yeah.
All right. That brings us to the end of this week. 2 more picks left. Stay tuned as we go ahead. You got time to do the closer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I know usually you're in a hurry. All right.
Yeah. That's fine.
It's time to end our Saturday mornings in the typical fashion. Brought to you by the fine folks over at Drew Estate. It's time to see, would you rather?
There you are.
All right. What do we got this week from the fine?
Let's see what our friend has
folks
for us
over at Drew Estates.
Here we go.
Would you rather go to a club or a dive bar?
Oh, that's easy.
That's an easy one for me.
It's very easy for me.
Easy for me too.
A dive bar is just like an old podunk, like local bar, right?
Yeah, dive bar.
Corner bar. Like what you call a dive bar, we would have called a corner bar in the city.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Dive bar.
Corner bar.
Dive bar.
Yes, the less people, the better.
There is
Yeah, I know.
no way I am going into a club. It's a dive bar.
Coop,
Let me tell you, I went into a
club.
club
I
about
would
20 years ago in
die.
Vegas, and you couldn't walk. I'm surprised the fire marshal even allowed it.
I
Yeah.
agree. The less
Yeah.
people, the better.
No. I remember I went to TPE a couple years ago, and this is how you know when you're getting older, like, because they did like an after party and it was a club type, and me and all our friends walk in there, and we're like, we can't sit around and talk, guys. We can't even hear ourselves like speak at all.
Right.
We need to leave so we can actually have a conversation, because that's what we do for fun nowadays when we get old. We just sit around
Right.
and talk.
Well, I will tell you this: that Philly experience I told you, we went to Patty's Pub, where say that's gotta be the definition of what a dive bar is.
Yeah,
We
it's
had
a dive, right? That's the
we
core.
had the
of
best
it.
time of our lives. We were eating pizzas and cheesesteaks with everybody and buying drinks. We had a great time.
A lot of them you could smoke in them too, which is great.
I don't know if you saw that episode. I was in awe. We walked in there accidentally. We took a tour, and on the tour they said, "Hey, this is Patty's Pub from Sunny in Philadelphia." So when we went to get back to our car, we realized we parked like right outside this pub. Like, oh fuck, we got to go in now. And I walk in, I see an ashtray on the bar, and I literally go, I don't even hold back. I go, "What the fuck is this?" It's like, it's an ashtray. I said, "Yeah, I know it's an ashtray. What's it doing at the bar?" It's like, you could smoke. I said, "You got to be fucking kidding me." And my wife and Briggs ran down, bought some cigars, and we were just fucking having the time of our lives, man. One of the best, coolest experiences. Good shit. All right, everyone. Lauren, it was a great time. I hope you do it again.
Yes, excellent. Thank you for having me on.
Are you kidding me? We'd love to have you on. I appreciate it. We hope we entertained you. We hope you had fun. It was a beautiful Saturday morning. Thank you.
Yeah, not a bad way to spend a Saturday morning.
Not a bad way. We actually say it's the best way to spend a Saturday. So we'll be back, I believe, next week. Yeah. Yep. I know we got a couple.
Week after we're not. Yeah.
Yeah, I know we got a couple we're missing. So 600 will land on a certain Saturday.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
we'll be back next week. So we hope we'll find us there and join us for another awesome way to start your Saturday. Until then, everybody, keep it lit.